Let's talk New York and New Jersey. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for my update for how I did at these events, and here I am bringing it to you live. Well, not live because this is recorded. Anyways, I'm going to talk about Catskill, New York. That was actually the better of the two events for me. As you guys saw, I played the Shadal deck, Dengo Dolls, I guess a lot of people are calling it. And I did fairly well. I started off 1-1. Well, I started off 1-0. My opponent didn't show up for round one, which is weird. I guess the deck got stolen, so sorry to him. And then I lost to the mirror match. It was a close games, and then game three, it was kind of slow, and I could have did like 7,000 damage, but if he had like an out to that my field, like I had no response, so I didn't go for it. And I think that was the right play at the time. And then his turn comes around. He drops, Shaddoll Fusion, does the play. Then he drops Dad and BLS, which I didn't expect Dad. I expected the other stuff, but I didn't expect all that stuff. So that happened. So I'm 1-1. I win my next three. I don't remember what all the matches were. I forgot to write them down. I apologize, but I remember my losses more than anything else. So 4-1. I finally faced the Almighty Clyde deck, which I've only faced before that like 2 or 3 times in my life. And I know generally what the deck does, like scout and everything in the disc and the plays. So like I wasn't like underconfident. I was just like, okay, cool. I got a couple fairy wins. I couldn't get a third one, but I do have a decent side deck for it. So game one, he OTKs me. I'm like, all right, that's cool, I guess. So game two, I OTK him. I'm like, all right, this is how it's going to be. So game three goes down to the wire. He's got 300 life points left, and he kills me. So it is what it is. So, I'm 4-2. I'm like, all right, got to keep going. So I face another Clyde deck, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll have better luck. Maybe things will be better. I get smashed. I kind of drew unplayable game two. And then game one, a little bit of back and forth, but he ended up only having like 800 life points and, still killed me. I was like, where's the fairy ones at? You know what I mean? So, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So I'm 4-3. I go in the last round because there's still a chance I could get my invite. So I ended up winning the match single handedly, Burning Abyss 2-0 really quick. And so I'm 5-3, winning a round. It's a cut to top 32 for invites, and I get 33rd. You guys don't even know how much salt I had for this. Like you guys don't even understand the salt I had. All my friends, they were really supportful. Let me shout out a bunch of people that I remember offhand. Shout out to my boy Tim for getting second at that event. Shout out to my boy Dan, Evan. Shout out to Aaron for lending me basically the whole deck. For everybody lending me cards, Ryan, Chuck, everybody I went with, Chris, John. Sorry, I'm drawing a real blank. Who was in that car with me that day? Wow, that's crazy. That was only like last week. So shout out to everybody that I'm forgetting. Mikey, Anderson, Ben, my boy Ben. Thank you. He gave me actually the foreign shit all stuff that I have, which is awesome. I love playing with them. So there's that. And just shout out to everybody that's helped me make the deck. I know this is in the middle and you guys are waiting for the New Jersey update, but I just want to make sure I shout out people that I remember and I can. If I forget you, I apologize. But, shout out to Peter, shout out to Kevin, Omeda, shout out to everybody, really. So it was just a fun time. New York was a very fun event, and New Jersey was too, I have to admit. I did not sleep for like 2 days straight. Both events. I tried to go to sleep. I tried to fall asleep, and I couldn't. And you guys can probably tell I look terrible. But, I got 33rd. I was like, you know what? I feel pretty confident. I didn't lose games to myself, and I think that's my biggest fear is doing that because, you can only blame yourself at that point. But if you get Yu-Gi-Oh! To where, you draw unplayable hands or they draw the nuts. Like, there's nothing you can do about that, and I can't get mad at that. You know what I mean? That's part of the game. It is what it is. So I felt like I did really well. So, New Jersey. Playing this whole time. The only thing I did different out of my deck list is I changed the side deck a little to fight Clives. Like, I had 3 Fairy Winds, maybe? Yeah, I think 3 Fairy Winds. I took Allure of Darkness out. I realized how bad that card is. I put in an enemy controller. I wish I had room for another one, because enemy controller, I saw it during test day. I really didn't see it all day in New Jersey, though. But so, yeah, those pretty much some major changes that I remember. In New Jersey. All right. Round 1. I got a free win because they were making vendors play at the event if they wanted to vend. That was like their thing they were doing. So I was playing with a vendor guy. He's like, I have a deck list, but I haven't played since Dragon Roller format, so you have a free win. So that was a really fun event. Even beforehand, like, we got a hotel the night before, and I drove, and then, like, it was really cool. I went with Aaron, Bailey, Eugene, and Brandon. So shout out to all those guys. Shout out to Avi too. Avi I went with last week. So interesting. Before the event, it was really chill. I was hanging out with everybody, saying hi to everybody. So I always eat Little Legend. Shout out to him. He's pretty funny. He was like judging the event, I guess, or one of the judges. So it was pretty cool. I was messing around with him. I didn't get a chance to like talk to him one-on-one personally. I was really salt after this event. I'll go into detail, I guess. So I started off 1-0. I play a Burning Abyss deck, I think, and I won, so I'm 2-0. Feeling pretty confident. Then I played a Burning Abyss. I actually lost that match. Game 3, I drew all monsters, which sucks, but it happens. It was going back and forth, and I just, he got the best of it. So he won. So I was 2-1. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So I face Satellarknight Artifacts, round 4. This was interesting. Guy was really cool. Actually, he was the coolest guy I think I played all day. I think his name was Frank. I don't remember. He was a pretty chill guy, and like his deck was interesting. But like he summoned Thunder King first turn, so I was like, this is, I don't know what's going on, you know what I mean? And I like Dragon Pop his one back row, which was Ignition, and I was like, oh, okay, he's playing Artifacts, and then eventually he summons the Neb, and I'm like, okay, now I understand what's going on here. So game 1, I should have, I was really commanding, I had the window out constantly, construct, and then eventually he out-resourced me, and I ran out of Shaddolls. So I ended up losing the game, which I really feel like I had such a control on it. He was just waiting for the right opportunity, and he got it. He stalled enough because Artifacts actually, there was one point in the game I had a construct out. He had one back row. And I was like, if that's, because he runs Deep Prisons, I was like, if that's anything but Moral Tech, I win this game, and it was Moral Tech. So that happened. So I ended up, I think we might have went to game 3. Don't quote me on that, but it was kind of the same kind of thing. It was just back and forth, and then he the cards I didn't want to hit, I hit, and then since I was fearing the artifacts, I didn't hit the back row, and they ended up being Deep Prison. So there was no, you know what I mean, solid evidence that I knew what to hit and what not to hit. So it was hard to make a read. He was a really good player, I think, actually one of the better players I played all day. So 2-2 at this point, and basically it's a long stretch downhill. When I was 4-2, no, I was 3-2. Played one of the guys that goes to one of the locals. I think I didn't recognize him at first, but he recognized me. So I was like, oh, it's I don't go to that local too often, but I remember him now. And I mean, he was pretty chill, but he was playing Shaddolls as well, and he opened game 2, Shaddol Fusion, El Shaddol Fusion, BLS, Super Poly, and D-Fusion, and some other cards. So I'm like, well then, I lose. You know what I mean? He just opened nuts, and there's nothing I can do about it. But I ended up going 5-4, got 86th place. So I wasn't really proud of that at all. Actually, for my standards, it's just bad. So after all that, shout out to everybody that went again. I appreciate everybody I saw. All my friends at both events. It's just now in Yu-Gi-Oh! The new list is coming out. It didn't really change much, but new decks are coming out. And by the time I'll probably go to the next event, it will be in March or April, which will be another new list. So I don't know what I'm going to play anymore. I don't know if I'm going to play Shaddolls. I still feel salty about it because of the whole situation. I feel like I really should have. I can't say perform better because I didn't lose to myself in my opinions. Like, I played the game well. They had the better stuff. I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you guys what happened. So, not sure what I'm going to do from this point on when it comes to what deck to play. I don't know, So, yeah, that's the update, guys. I realize, though, that I have a lot of friends that support me, with this hobby and, like, just letting me borrow cards or, rooting me on. Or people who don't even play the game and, like, they're really happy for me. And they're like, oh, you can do it, Kev. I appreciate everybody. Every one of you. All my subscribers, I appreciate every one of you. So, thank you. Without you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. So, hopefully things will go better. It's just, yeah, once I hit that milestone, that's what it is, and you always realize there's people that will always try to put you down no matter what you do. I could be world champion and there's people around my locals that would say that I'm a bad player or a bad person no matter what I did, and they're better when they're not. So, but locals is locals. It is what it is. I just want to throw that tidbit in there. So, don't let people put you down, I guess, is my kind of thing. Even people you thought were friends or whatever. So, shout out to my boy Jack. I forgot about you. But everybody, thank you. So, that's my update. Any comments, questions, let me know in the comment section. Or if you have my phone number, hit me up. Try to get back to you as I can. I'm still recovering from this tragic day. So, until next time, this is the One Anti-Hero, and I'm out.